All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Joey there.
Nick there.
And we are excited for some more Wilty, baby.
You mean would I lie to you?
Wilty or won't he? I don't know. And we're going to take a step away from the Bob. And we're the Bob. I don't know what that was. We're going to check out another one. Now, this is interesting because it says Mick. Okay, but then it says James Acaster's archenemy, Lee Mack's traded toddler, and Gabby Logan's cheated child. So I'm thinking this is a three-parter.
That'll be interesting. I'm curious if Mick is the name of James's archenemy.
Oh.
Like, is this his archenemy?
Possibly. But we're going to go ahead and check this out. If you're excited for our reaction, please don't forget to
like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be aware of our next uploaded videos.
And we have other reactions, Bob Mortimer, if you will, for your viewing pleasure. Here we go.
Please welcome this week's special guest, Mick.
Oh, he's so young.
Little kid.
So, Gabby, what is Mick to you?
This is Mick, and I deliberately tripped him up during the wheelbarrow race at my son's sports day.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, James, how do you know Mick?
This is Mick, and for 6 months, he was my sworn enemy when a practical joke got out of hand.
Don't believe him.
He's so young.
Finally, Lee.
This is Mick, he's my son, and I'm only allowed to see him every second Friday.
He's trying not to smile. He's trying so hard.
Sorry, no, that's not it. This is Mick. I once took him home from nursery instead of my own son.
I can believe that, or I can believe the girls.
Is Mick Gabby's cheated child, James's feuding friend, or Lee's traded toddler? David's team, where would you like to begin?
That makes sense for the three.
Gabby, the wheelbarrow race. You were also a competitor. What was the format of the race, and how did the accident
Your
happen?
classic sports day wheelbarrow race. Child is the wheelbarrow. I was driving my son as a wheelbarrow, and Mick's mum, Barbara, was driving him.
Oh, he's trying to laugh. He's trying not to laugh.
There's always a lot. I feel our family gets a lot of pressure on sports day because my husband was an international rugby player and I did sport. And people always look at us as if they're the ones to beat. You know, I always feel that added dimension of competitiveness.
You were a rhythm gymnastic, weren't you?
I was a gymnast.
Yeah, I think they're looking more at him. Carry on.
So we were in the lead, my son and I. And you know, in your peripheral vision, you can feel somebody coming. And as we got to the turn, they were level with us, and my son's arm buckled, and which is for a wheelbarrow race is a bit of a no-no. So it takes you a couple of seconds to recover. So now we're behind.
Quite painful for your son as well. Perhaps that should be the main concern.
Classic sports person. Oh,
That's a no-no! We need this!
Off their arm.
We got back level with them, and I'm ashamed, obviously, about what happened next. So I can feel, you know, these horrible thoughts coming into my mind. You know, we could take him out. You know, we could.
Come on, this is why we've been taking all the drugs.
And I stood on his hand, and so I know.
Deliberately?
You were thinking we should take him out.
So he then slightly buckled. So
Which is a no-no.
He got himself back into the race, and I decided that I couldn't let us win because that could be construed in some people's eyes as cheating.
In some people's
Opposition's hands.
And in some people's eyes, physical assault.
So I had to then sabotage us because I couldn't let us win. So I deliberately kind of pushed my son into the ground.
So you assaulted 2 children.
I kind of just, you know, pretended to trip onto Reuben. So, and then his arms buckled, double buckle, which is a no. And that meant
Reuben is your boy.
Yes. Oh gosh, yes. Yes. Yeah.
You know the one with the face like that.
All right. Who would you like to speak to next?
Okay.
All right, so what do you think about her story so far?
You know what? I can see her. I like how she turned around and said, you know, but then I couldn't let us win, so we kind of stopped, as opposed to, and then we just won. So I feel like that could be. I'm struggling with the boy on the end having enemies with this Mick kid because they just seem too much of an age difference. Not that you can't be like frustrated with the young kid who keeps bugging you, but at the same time, Mick kept laughing during her things. So I think it's gonna be interesting to see how he reacts towards the other people. I do think that taking the wrong kid home, now it depends what nursery means to them. If it's like one or, I could see taking the wrong kid home, not paying attention.
Yeah.
But if they're older, like they should have their unique features, period. But I can see a dad like just not pay attention and be like, oh yeah, this is my kid.
Just dad.
Well, moms too, but I'm just saying, like, usually, when you're the one up in the middle of the night, constantly feeding them and taking care of them and whatnot, like, anyway, let's just play. What do you think, Nick?
Let's just play. Who cares what to say? Let's just play.
What do you think?
And now, in my defense, I was up half the time with all of our kids to feed
you were.
and whatnot.
You were awesome. You were awesome.
Anyways, I can see any parent just not paying attention. Like you have your son, and then they trade places. You're talking like, okay, let's go, and you're not paying attention. But I don't believe her story. First of all, when she said his mom, Barbara, he started to laugh. And you would think kids are like, you don't know my mom's name. And so he's trying to... So that was like a first sign. Second sign, if she wanted to cheat, because I'm assuming he was ahead of them, and you're doing a wheelbarrow, and I might be thinking too much,
how could
step on the hand.
Yeah.
He'd have to be behind you to step on their hand, because the mom.
I
can see like running your kid into their kid or something like that differently. But also, it's too much thinking. Like, you're willing to cheat and hurt a kid, and the very next millisecond you say, well, we can't win now because someone might think that is cheating. If you're going to do the cheat, you got to go all the way within that 30-second, competitive nature. So those are my few thoughts.
I got you.
Here we go.
James, so Mick became your sworn enemy because of a practical joke.
That got out of hand.
So
Yes.
what was the practical joke or prank?
You seem like you're going to laugh
First
right
of all,
now.
I'll say for the record, before we carry on, I hate this boy. I'm nothing but content for him, and I'm furious he's got on this show.
I just think I feel I can only see him every second Friday.
So what was the practical joke, James?
He put cabbage leaves in my bed.
How did he get in your room?
I was staying at his house.
On a sleepover? How old are you?
A few years ago.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't have been born.
He was 9.
And you were what, 31?
I was, what, 28? 29?
And how do you know him?
I know his dad. He's his son.
He's his son.
He's really not selling this.
I'm really starting to believe it because he's really trying to undersell.
And you were staying at their house.
Yes.
Why did he put cabbage leaves? Why is that a thing?
Well, it's not a thing until he started doing it.
Yeah.
There's something severely wrong with him. I don't know why he started.
But you say
this kind of
started
stunt.
doing it. Was
Yeah.
It, what do you mean? This is a one occasion when
Oh,
you're
is it?
staying there. Well, I don't know.
This is the first of many, David. I said got out of hand. I do not use those words lightly.
I love this guy. He's
regularly
hilarious.
stay at the house of...
Oh, no. Oh. This little man does not restrict these pranks to his own house. He has no respect for anyone's privacy and will cross any boundaries available to him. I hate him with all my heart.
Yeah.
So he initially put cabbage leaves in the bed you were sleeping in when you were staying at his father's.
Yes.
Right? And then subsequently,
yes,
he has followed you and put cabbage leaves in other places you've been sleeping.
No.
Okay? What then?
He sent me a cabbage in the post.
Yes! This show is brilliant.
He sent me half a cabbage, cling filmed, in a box. I was out when they delivered it. I had to go to the post office to pick it up.
That is brilliant. That's brilliant.
I actually can see a kid doing that. Like, you know what I mean? An annoying kid.
That's a pretty awesome kid.
Yeah, I could see somebody like trying to be annoying and do that.
There was a note inside that said, "You got cabbaged again."
Okay, so
That's a smart
he's
kid to
doing
do that.
Did you,
He looks so
bearing
bad.
in mind that this is a minor, Did you at any...
It was a major as far as I'm
Yes.
Did you
Oh, look,
at any
he's
point
not. He looks a
retaliate?
little nervous.
Yeah, but it took me 6 months.
What did you do?
After 6 months of this,
Well, but you say 6 months of this.
Yeah.
What is this? There's the initial cabbage leaves in the bed at his house, and there's the posted cabbage, half cabbage.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah.
his granddad cabbaged me to my face.
What does that mean?
Gave me a present. It was all wrapped up nice. I thought it was a nice present. I unwrapped it. It was another half of cabbage wrapped in cling film. Members of the public started cabbaging me.
Yep.
I made the mistake of talking about it on the radio, and then everyone got the idea, and I couldn't turn up to a gig without there being a cabbage hidden somewhere in my dressing room.
Well, thank God you're playing safe and not saying it on telly, eh?
I don't believe it.
So, did you retaliate? Did...
Absolutely did. I removed all of his belongings from his bedroom and replaced them with cabbages.
That's, I would say, a disproportionate response.
6 months of my life, David. 6 months of my life of not knowing where the next cabbage was coming from. It was horrible. I had to go big. I've been cabbaged so many times. Somebody started a Twitter account, was tweeting pictures of cabbages on me every day. They said stuff like, oi, oi, Savoy. It was horrible.
And that was just the tip of the iceberg.
That's lettuce. That's lettuce.
Oh, but come on, cut me some slack.
No. I would say that
Compete with
anyone
that.
who can enjoy that joke about a lettuce would have to be a sociopath.
All right, on to Lee.
Lee, remind us of your story.
Okay, real quick. I don't believe him. It's a hilarious story, and I love his
Yes.
delivery. I think he's very, very funny, this James guy. Never heard him before, but I like him a lot. Don't believe it at all.
I feel like he was exaggerating. Like, he was trying to come up with things as he was telling his story a few times. I can see some annoying kid trying to play a joke and then, like, not necessarily send it in the mail because like, they know where you live, putting it on your doorstep, or just trying to be annoying. But I don't understand why he was at the house to begin with.
Now, I could see with social media and whatever
Oh,
the
yeah,
community,
people
like, you know, just...
cabbaging you.
So I'm not going
100%.
to completely close the door, but it just seems ridiculous. Now, I think more than anything, it'd be like a friendly prank, or like his friend who's the dad is like, yeah, let's send him one in the mail, and you know, let's wrap him a present and have Grandpa give it to him or something like that.
I don't think he's truly mad at him. I think he's playing up. But what is interesting is that the boy was cracking up with his, but at one point, he truly looked a little bit scared.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap. And then that made me wonder, like, is it real? I don't know. I want to listen to his third one.
Absolutely.
Because he reacted
This is Mick.
interestingly.
I once took him home from nursery instead of my own son.
Why did you not recognise your own son by using your eyes and knowing what he looks like?
I do recognise my own son. But we had this new pram, and the pram, I put him in the pram. He was very young at the time, because, well, you have to go to nursery. And I put him in the pram.
At nursery?
Not a pram, a
It's
pusher.
a pram when they're sort of tiny.
A pushchair, you made one mistake. You say lettuce, you say a cabbage, they're on your back. You say pram instead of pushchair. I get to see him every other week. I'm stressed. I put him in the pushchair, and then I got chatting to all the other mums and dads and stuff. Got chatting, turned round. Little did I realise that one of the other parents had exactly the same pushchair. And because he was asleep, I just didn't bother talking to him because I thought he was asleep. Pushed him and got all the way home. Long walk as well, because he goes to school in London and we live in Aberdeen.
How long was
Aberdeen,
it before
Scotland.
you realised?
Probably Glasgow. It was about, believe it or not, preferably do.
Yeah, that's very much the question.
Believe it or not, it was as I went into the front door and I pushed him towards my wife, who was coming towards me, and she said, "That is not my son."
The other mother would have recognised her child, so let's go to the other mother.
Let's go to the other mother. So-
What happened there?
So, obviously, I'm not there to see the other mother.
No, but presumably in the police interview, they know you've gone through those details.
No, I knew it would be a bit of a nerve-wracking experience, so I thought I'd better play safe and just keep him. And that's what we did. We just ended up bringing up another child. So I got into the house, pushed him into the house. My wife said, "That's not my son." So I went, oh! I realised immediately what had happened, obviously. I turned round and I raced back to the school very quickly. So I got in just in time for them to go, "What are you?" And then...
So you got back just in time.
Got back in time.
Just before Mick's mother was...
I actually believe this story the most. The only problem I have is, why is the other kid in the stroller or pushchair not going anywhere? Do you just like put these kids in their strollers when like their parents are coming within the
Maybe
next 15 minutes?
Maybe they put him in there. They started talking. He gets out of there. You know, guys
the other
short
person
talk,
still
and
talk?
they're just talking for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time.
He's
And that
asleep, he's
happens.
okay.
You do talk sometimes. What you think is a 5-minute chat ends up being like 45 minutes, and you're like, "Whoops."
Yes.
Stop. You too.
Gonna start screaming,
So
my
it was-
child has disappeared, my child has disappeared.
Yeah, because what had happened is she was getting a bit frantic, but someone had calmed her down by doing the obvious and pointing to the child and saying, use your logic here.
Yeah,
There's a
child
child
abductors don't tend to leave
Swap,
a child as well.
So, David's team, is Mick Gabby's cheated child,
Maybe.
No.
James's
I
feuding
think it's the
friend,
middle guy.
Possible, I
or
think.
Lee's
I think it's
traded
his.
toddler?
That's what I'm
No.
thinking the most about.
I think it's his toddler.
I think that the cabbages, that is a good trick, because cabbages, when they get warmed up, stink.
They do.
I
They smell
also
really
have,
bad.
you know, been to
These
many a
pigs.
sports day where the parents do get incredibly competitive. I would probably lean towards Gabby.
What about you, Melvin? Which way are you leaning?
I believe Gabby, but James is just weird, so I believe him even more.
Your paranoid view seems to be the whole country's in on it. Now everyone's sending you cabbages.
Every time people laugh at me, I suspect they're my enemy, which makes my job very difficult.
Connie, can you
Awesome.
You think Gabby, but James even more.
And David thinks it's me, so...
Oh, I don't know. James.
You're going for James. Mick, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Mick, and I am James's worst enemy.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I was gonna say I'm so close, but I really wasn't, because at first I didn't believe him at all. But I did believe it more than her. I should have trusted it.
You should have trusted. Well, and it makes sense because again, he did get that one look where he did look a little scared.
I'm always wrong.
Not that I think the guy is really mad at him, but. And he does look like he could be kind of a punk, like with his outfit and
gosh.
stuff. I'm just saying, like,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
sure you're a nice kid, Mick, whatever your name is.
Yes. Mick is James's feuding friend, and here's the proof that is what James did to Mick's bedroom. Thank you very much, Mick.
He really did go back into his room and put a cabbage in there.
I don't know why. I was just picturing, like cabbage leaves. He said leaves. He did say leaves, right?
Well, no. So at the beginning,
Not full heads of
he
cabbage.
said there were cabbage leaves on the bed when he spent the night. So again, my question is, why did he spend the night at this kid's dad's house? Like,
And where do they get all that cabbage from? Is it like a cabbage farm that they
I'm
own
sure
or
they
something
just
like
went to the
that?
grocery store and bought a bunch.
Okay, but when I go to the grocery store, I might be able to see like 30 heads of cabbage. They just bought the entire lot, for crying out loud.
I don't know, but
I'm still mad at myself because I was so against it, but then I was thinking, okay, he's really selling this. He's a comedian, all this kind of stuff.
I am curious though, like, is James like really just like angry and frustrated?
No.
Or is he just playing up the part?
I'm sure he's probably annoyed, but I think he was definitely like putting on
Yeah.
that act. I would love to see him like in a TV show or something like that, because he can really.
Right?
I was really impressed with him.
Yes.
But the other guy, I forget what his name was. Was it Lee?
Lee, yeah.
His was just too short, but I totally could see it happen.
But-
And he was throwing in those jokes, so I thought, like, since it was a short story, he was throwing in those different like things, like, oh, I'm just kidding, this is what really happened.
But at the same time, something like that doesn't need to be long. You take the grown kid home, you realize that you turn back around. But his just seemed like, again, I did struggle with the other one being like the other lady and her kid just like not realizing it.
Yeah, I didn't believe that at all.
But-
I mean the sports day one.
Oh, no, I meant like
Yeah.
just leaving the stroller there. But like when you said talking about, and when he said, well, if somebody realizes, if that's somebody else's kid, they're going to realize it and come back. Like,
Yeah.
they are going to come back and switch. And especially if the strollers are the same, and like if you even put like the hood, the cover up over the stroller so
Yeah.
you don't really see into where your child is, I could easily just see taking your stroller and going. Like, just trusting all's well.
Absolutely.
I mean, I always checked on our kids like a million times.
Sure you did. Let us know what you think about our reaction to this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
Ciao.